Hi, and welcome to the Keys Please podcast.
A podcast about the perks and perils of first home buying.
I'm Maddie, a psychology student and compulsive planner.
And I'm Tom, a maths student and definitely not a compulsive planner. In today's episode, we'll be discussing how you should decide on a house, and we'll cover topics like price, location, size, quality, and resale value.
Tom's prepared today's episode topic, and I know absolutely nothing, so I'm excited to begin this and a little bit nervous to see what is in store.
I know you're scared, it's okay. Don't worry.
But first, I wanted to touch base with some initial points from last episode. So in episode 3, I said apartments are pretty cheap, and I was referring to Adelaide apartments. They're not cheap, and like apartments in other cities are definitely not cheap, but they're just cheaper in the scheme of the entire housing market. That's what I meant. So.
Yeah, cheaper than houses.
Yeah, I didn't mean that they were just, like, real cheap, like, easy to buy. So, also in the last episode we mentioned the Australian Liberal Party's first home owners policy thing. They actually got elected, which was unexpected. But anyway, so this might actually happen now.
Thanks, Queensland. No. Kidding. Just
okay.
Everyone...
We're not a political podcast.
Yeah, we're not. No, that was a joke.
We don't want to isolate the young libs that might be listening.
Or old libs.
Or old libs.
Old people can listen to this podcast too.
Yeah. I'm not sure what they'll benefit from it, but they might benefit some things. Okay.
Just like to say, thoughts on Quexit, everybody. Get
Quexit. But back to the policy. In the last episode, we got a few things wrong. So, I think we said that you had to be earning over 125,000 as a single or over 200,000 as a couple. It's actually under. So you can be earning 125,000 or under as a single to be like applicable for this like scheme. But it's only for the first 10,000 people that are lucky enough to get it. So, yeah. And, like, yeah. Anyway.
So, is it 10,000 per year?
It's a bit weird.
Or just 10,000 total?
I have no idea, honestly.
And if it's like that, is it just like everyone who does it at the very start of the year will get it?
I think it was just like random? A bone that they randomly threw in there, and they were like, yeah, this might win us the election, and they didn't really think about...
Yeah. I don't think it was a deciding factor.
The logistics. But... Yeah, I don't think it was either.
How to decide how you should decide. It's a bit of a confusing title, but what it really just means is, how do you decide which house to buy?
Over the last 2 weeks, we've asked friends and other young people what their number one priority would be when buying their first home. And we've had a range of different answers. Here's some of them now.
The location, because I want to be close to the beach.
I would have a big garden so I can have a fruit and veggie patch and lots of fruit trees and eat all my fruit that I've made myself.
The expansive land size for potential farming opportunities.
Proximity to the city.
We also had some written responses that indicate price is a major factor. Actually, not just price, but overall affordability. So, maintenance costs like electricity, water, and transport costs to work were important. Another written responder said that they would like a detached house with at least 2 bedrooms and a backyard, no further than half hour from the city, which is...
Good luck, buddy. You know?
No, I'm sure you get there.
Yeah, one day.
Yeah. No. But, like, it is interesting to see what people say they want and what their priorities are and stuff.
So, as we can see from most people, there are a bunch of factors that may influence their decision to buy a house. We're going to go through some of the main factors in this episode.
Alrighty.
So, to start off, we're going to look at price. And for most people, this is easily the most important factor. And unless you're made of money, it's sensible to have like a hard cap on how much you're going to spend
like
established before you look at specific places.
House budget.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, but what if your dream home is like just outside your hard cap? So basically, if that happens, it's probably best to restrain yourself a bit. So
you shouldn't go that extra.
Yeah, you shouldn't send the the extra
cash.
No.
You shouldn't
Yeah.
spend money you don't have. Is that?
Yeah, so in fact, like, there's a case that to be made that you should actually spend significantly less than you could afford to borrow, because, well, you can afford to borrow a lot more than
You should.
than you should spend. Because
Yeah, I have heard that.
yeah, well, life happens, unexpected costs come with
Yeah.
life, and if you lose your job or you get sick or, I don't know, a bunch of anything could happen basically, and you're going to need some savings to weather the storm.
Yeah.
And
I think that's definitely one thing I need to get in my head, is because sometimes I think, oh, well, if we're earning this much, then the max we can borrow is this much. And then I look at houses that are probably like 10 grand over how much we can borrow.
Yeah.
It's probably not good. So
Yeah.
don't do that, everyone, including myself.
Yeah, you don't want to set those high expectations
Yeah,
for yourself
exactly.
and then move into a place, we'll
Yeah.
be forced to, so,
Yeah, it'd be much worse to buy a house that you can't afford and then live in it, but be only just surviving.
Yeah.
Like, that would be
Yeah.
not good.
Mm.
Like,
and it can really be a factor in causing you financial stress. And so here I've got, according to healthdirect.gov, the symptoms of financial stress are difficulty sleeping, feeling angry or fearful, mood swings, tiredness, muscle pain.
okay.
I can't pronounce words today, unfortunately.
Muscle pain.
Thanks, Maddie, yes.
Yes.
Lower sex drive and withdrawing from others. So none of those things sounds good.
No, that sounds...
It also puts you at risk of developing anxiety or depression in extreme cases.
Well, you can definitely see why financial stress would cause people to withdraw from others, because they might not... I mean, I guess when you go out with others, you tend to spend money as well.
Yeah.
So, like, you might have to then say no to all of these invitations and then slowly start seeing less people. Obviously, you're also in, like, a bad mood.
Yeah, also
So-
also people, like, within your own family or within your own household, you might
Be
withdraw
really-
from as
yeah,
well.
because you're really stressed.
Yeah.
Yeah. And also, I think comparison is a big role in, like, financial stress. So, like, if you're financially stressed and you're, like, worried about money, and then you go and hang out with people that are, like, not worried about money at all, I feel
Loaded.
yeah,
Yeah.
that would be not a good thing for your mental health.
Yeah, it would definitely make you feel bad
Which
about
is
yourself.
not their fault, but
Yeah,
it's just
yeah.
not great
Yeah, it's just
for
not great.
the person that's stressed about money.
Yeah.
So. I think price is probably, like, even though I say, like, oh, I look at houses that are, like, more than we can afford and stuff, like, price is probably a pretty big factor for me.
Yeah, definitely the same. I'd say it's probably more of a factor for people's, like, first
Yeah.
purchase as well.
I think
because
some
you're
people
less
can
likely-
afford to be flexible for their second home or whatever, but yeah, with money. What were you
Yeah,
going to say?
and yeah, it's definitely, so we'll get to the other factors later on, but some of them you might have to sacrifice for price,
Yeah.
especially when, for your first home. Our next category is location, and location has various aspects to it, so much so that I've decided to split it into two categories, neighborhood and convenience.
Mm-hmm.
So
what's neighborhood?
neighborhood is the general vibe of the area you live, like, as well as the quality of nearby shops, restaurants, and schools if you have kids.
So it's like
that sort of thing.
lifestyle.
Yeah, so lifestyle, even like, I know sometimes you
The vibe.
will, when you're going through an area, you're just like, I really like the vibe of this place.
Yes,
like,
I do have specific vibes that
Yeah.
I look for.
and so like the aesthetics and
Yeah. And how you feel, like, how
Yeah.
the place makes you feel. Different suburbs definitely make me feel differently. I don't know about you, but, like, in some suburbs, I'm like, yeah, this is my vibe. And some of them I'm like, yeah, I don't really want to be walking here by myself.
yeah. So
That's usually the difference for me.
So yeah, neighborhood is pretty much just, it's how desirable the area is to live
Yeah.
in.
Oh, actually, I do have one more thing to say about vibe. Okay,
Yeah.
so this is a bit unfair, but I feel like whenever I visit places and it's raining, they seem significantly less desirable. And it's really not fair, and I really should visit places when they're sunny, because otherwise it's like, you know, I just have like a negative reflection of the place because it was raining when I was there.
Yeah. That sounds like something that would happen, yeah.
Yeah, and it's like really gloomy as well. Like if it's just like no sun, like obviously the place
Yeah.
does not look.
You're gonna feel down, and you're gonna think the place like
is bad.
We're
but it's
not consciously. You're gonna
No.
but unconsciously you're gonna associate the place with feeling a bit down. So yeah.
Yeah, but I think it's important to like. Probably if you've got like a location in mind, visit it in all of the seasons so you can really like get to know the vibe in each of the different weather conditions.
Not necessarily all the seasons, but just all of the like.
No, all of the seasons.
Like-
I would say take at least a year to investigate your dream location.
If it was wet when you went, go back.
When it's sunny.
Yeah.
And then also go back when it's windy.
Yeah.
And go back when it's like 50 degrees.
Yeah. Okay.
Celsius. Yeah, I'm kind of kidding, but also I do think it's important to like, at least go when it's rainy and then when it's like nice weather to get like a overall picture of what it's going to be like. Because when you live there, you're going to have to go through all of the different seasons and everything.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. The other thing that neighborhood includes is if, depending on where you live, an aspect of it might be how safe the area is.
Yeah, so like crime rates and that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so the other aspect of it was convenience, and convenience is how easily you can commute in and out of work or uni or wherever you have to commute to every day.
Yeah.
And the distance from like friends and family you want to see regularly. It's mostly just travel time, like expected travel time over like the course of 2 weeks, say. Yeah.
So yeah, I think I often, because where I live right now, it's really like close to uni, and like when I was working, it was close to where I worked. Yep, no longer there. Drop it. Yeah, I won't name the company, but let's just say they were less than satisfactory. Anyway, so it was really close to all of my things, and it's really close to uni. It's only like probably like a 7-minute drive and like a 10-minute bus ride, if that. Like that's So anyway, I severely underestimate commute time as a factor because of where I live, and the shops are really close to my house as well. So whenever I've stayed at Tom's house and then have had to go to uni, I like usually end up just not going to uni because it's just like, what is the point of this commute time?
It'll just take you too long.
Like, especially because at my uni that I go to get there, like, to get a car park, you need to get there like probably at least at 8 a.m. So that's like latest at 8:30 on some days, depending if you're lucky. So like at Tom's house, that means leaving really early, and so it's like I'll like wake up at the time that I should have left, and then I'll be like, okay, well, not going to uni today because can't get a car park.
Well, there's always the bus, but yeah.
Yeah, but then the bus is so like easy from my house, and then like not easy from your house.
It is a lot further.
Yeah. So anyway, when I'm living here, I tend to underestimate commute time, and then like when I've been living at your house, I like realized that this is an issue. So I either need to get over it and just accept that commute time is going to be a long time when I move out. Like, it's going to be a long commute time. Or we need to find a place that's somehow in between our two areas that we need to be, which is a bit difficult. So,
personally, I believe this is a very underrated aspect of deciding where to live.
Yeah.
You're just confirming this belief by explaining how you yourself underrate it.
Yeah.
And so I've got some research here. So some researchers from the University of Waterloo conducted a study on the effects of commute time, and they found that the longer it takes for someone to get to work, the lower their satisfaction with life in general. So pretty strong words there.
Is that the study that followed these people throughout their lives, or like No.
No.
Okay, because there was another study, and I don't know if I'll